Good morning. Hi, cubies and newbies. I am Sunshine. This is the ABCube method for solving Rubik's Cubes. I am the ABCube tutor. This method, I scrambled this one over again. This method works on every complexity Rubik's Cube, regardless, as long as it's an n by n by n. It works on the wood 8 and 3 by 9 as well. Formula A is 4 moves, Formula B is 8 moves, and with that, that's all you need to do to solve every complexity Rubik's Cube. There's no learn these for a month to learn the 3 by 3, and then learn these additional ones when you get to the 4 by 4, and then learn these more for the 5 by 5, and then reducing it down. None of that. Just two things to memorize. One is 4 moves, one is 8 moves. The Formula A is 4 moves, brings a piece to the top, and turns corners around. And Formula B moves 3 pieces around, and only 3 pieces around, and that's all you need for the rest to solve the rest of the cube. And because there's no parity algorithm, because parities are a lie, you don't have to play with those if you don't want to. And I'm happy to discuss that. So, good morning, and I did the corner. I'm going to do the corners on Monday. I did the opposite edges on Tuesday. I did the side edges on Wednesday, and so all that's left now is the centers of the cubes. So I did the corners first, then the then the edges, and now the centers are also done. The Formula B does all of it. If you want to work with the centerpieces, the first thing to do is line it up so it's advantageous. The piece that you want to move dictates what the 2 columns are, but it's always the top row. So we lined it up, and then this piece goes to the top. I rotate the top so it's in a different column. That where it lands becomes the second column up. And then you reverse and down, and so you're moving, it looks like 2, but you're always moving 3 pieces. 2 of them were the same color, so it looked like 2. So that's the center. If I do the outside and inside columns, then it moves edges around, okay? But the 8 move method only moves the 3 pieces that you want to move. And the rest of the cube is unaffected. So it doesn't matter whether it's the first steps or final steps. It's still just Formula A and Formula B. For the corners, up, down. Same muscle memory. Up, down. Up, down. So Formula B is top row 2 columns, and the 2 columns dictate which pieces you're moving around. You don't have to memorize which 2 columns do what. You just pick a piece to move and apply the B to it, and it tells you which the columns have to be based on which ones. Formula A is top one row and 1 row and 1 column. If you use the bottom row and the right column, it switches the corners around. It flips these corners. Other things on the bottom as well, but we only care about the top because it flips these 2 corners, twists them as it goes along, and when you finish the cycle of 6, the rest of the cube is unaffected. So in order to affect the top, you would slide it over when it's the way you want it to be. And then for the middle, if you apply this row and this column, it gives you boxes, like so. Out, down, in, up. 1 twist it one way, 2 twist it the other way, and 3 gets you back to how it began. Okay, so corners first. I'm going to do that one with this one here on the 2 by 2. Okay, so I start with yellow. Find a yellow corner. And the yellow corner that I've selected with the yellow on top, this corner is correct because it's the one I selected, and the rest of the cube is going to match it. So I look at the corner that corner under my left thumb is being protected by my left thumb. The corner under my right thumb, if it has a yellow anywhere on one of these 3 colors, then formula A will bring it to the top. If it's already on the top, I'll slide it out of the way and keep going with the next corner. So there's no yellow here, but I look under the corner underneath it, and there's a yellow here. And these two corners are going to flip back and forth. So as long as there's a yellow here or here, formula A will bring it to the top. So out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up, out, down. As many times as it needs to get to the top. It'll be 5 or less because 6 gets you back to the beginning of where you were when you started. So yellow's on top. I pause. I rotate the top row only to slide that yellow out of the way, and now it's protected. And now I look at this corner. As long as there's a yellow here or here, formula A will bring it to the top. Okay, pause. Slide that out of the way to preserve it. Continue here if there's a yellow here or here. If not, then I rotate the corners bottom by quarter turns until there is. But as long as there's a yellow in one of these two corners, formula A will bring it to the top. As many times as is needed. When the yellow's on top, then we reassess. We've been looking only at corners. We've been looking only at the yellow, but each corner has 3 colors, not just one. So we're going to look at the other colors. Now, at this point, one of 3 things has happened. Either the sides match each other. All of them do, none of them do, or one side does. So red does not equal orange, blue does not equal red, but green equals green, and orange does not equal blue. So you can't have 2 sides that match or 3 sides that match. It's either all, none, or one, just because of the mathematics of the cube. So if none of the sides matches, it doesn't matter which way you hold it to do this next step. But if one side matches, then we place those match faces away from you as headlights of a car that you're driving. Now, formula B is going to move, as I said, formula B is going to move 3 pieces around. It's going to, because I'm using the outside columns, only columns, it's going to move corners. So this one's going to stay the same. I'm going to preserve this piece throughout this step. So I slide this away, and then I go left up. I slide it back, and I go right up. I slide it away, left down, back, right down. So this one stayed the same. The bottom was untouched. You can't tell because it's scrambled. But these 3 corners have all moved 1 position. Now we already know how to bring it back. The yellow back to the top is formula A, so we go right into formula A. Okay, yellow's on top. Pause, slide the yellow out of the way to preserve it. Continue. More formula A. You don't have to count, but the cube does. And to bring the yellow back to the top again will be a multiple of 6 always, and 6 does not affect the rest of the bottom, the rest of the cube at all. So we've got the yellow done. Yellow goes face down, and I do all of them the exact same way. So they do the corners first on all of these cubes. Now we need to establish what color is opposite yellow, and for most cubes that's going to be white, but not all cubes are colored standardized. So we look and make sure that the color that each of these 4 cubes have in common is the color that we're going, the top face, the now top 4 corners are going to be. And it is white, but if you have to figure that out, it's a color that's not touching yellow. So it's not blue, not orange, not green, and not red. So if there does not, at this point, yellow is face down until the white corners are done. And formula A and B is not going to affect them, so we can see them moving around as we do our thing, but we're going to ignore the yellows and they will place themselves again back. So if there is a yellow, if there's no white on top, doesn't matter which way you start, but if there is a white, I'm going to preserve it. So I don't need to look and see if there's a white. We've already established there's white. So I'm going to hold this cube, and I'm going to do formula A until white is on top on all 4 corners. So out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up. There it is. Pause. Slide it out of the way to preserve it. Keep going with the next one. Out, down, in, up. Out, down, in, up. Pause. Slide it out of the way. Out, down, in, up. Out, down, in, up. And when the yellow is back, white is on top on all 4, we can check the yellows again and they're still happy. Or they're happy again. So at this point, either when we check to see if the corners match, either all of them do, one of them does, or none of them does. Blue does not equal green, red does not equal orange, blue does not equal green, red does not equal orange. So since none of them match, it doesn't matter how I hold it to begin, I just begin. I'm going to do formula B and then A to bring the white back to the top, and when I've done that, this will have advanced to the next stage. So if there's none matching now, after I do this, it'll be one matching. If there's one matching, after I do this, they'll all four be matching. So this cube is going to be stable, the rest of these are going to move. So preserving this move, I move it away, left up, back, right up, away, left down, back, right down. Okay, and again, my yellows are resolved, and I'm going to use formula A to bring the white to the top. So out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up, pause, slide the top row to preserve this piece, continue with formula A for the next corner. When white's on top, pause, slide it out of the way, keep going. And again, we can see the yellow dancing back and forth, moving all around, but we pay no attention to it till the white comes back to the top, and then when we look, it's unaffected. So, red does not equal blue, orange equals orange, green does not equal red, and blue does not equal green. So the matching side, one side faces away, and we do formula B. Slide up, slide second up, slide down, slide second down. Okay, yellow is still happy. And we know how to formula A to bring the piece back to the top again. Okay. Pause. Slide that out of the way. Continue with the next. Now, as long as I don't rotate the cube, and only move the top, is to keep the rest of the cube stable, then nothing but the top row is going to be affected, and the rest of the cube will be untouched. So my yellows are still happy. Okay, so now each side matches, the corners match each side. So all I need to do now is to check if the top matches the bottom, rotate the top until it does, and boom, there's the corners done. On the 2x2, that's the cube solved. On the rest of the cubes, on any larger cube, the corners dictate what color each face is going to be. So from this point forward, every piece has a correct place to be, and instead of pairing things up and putting them together and then placing them at the end like a reductionist method, we can just find a piece and throw it in the direction it wants to be and move on. We don't have to spend time looking for pairs. They will pair each other up as we go. So we don't have to spend time looking at them and doing that and then placing them later. So the second thing, the next thing I did because I was looking for yellows and whites, the next thing I did was I kept looking for yellow and white corners, edges, and I placed them from the middle area to the outside until the opposite edges were all done. And then putting white face down, I displaced a yellow into the sides that were incorrect, and kept placing the not yellow pieces until the yellows come back to the top. So, so the corners, top row, outside columns, the edges were done with the top row, outside and inside column, and the centers are all going to be done by 2 inside columns. We don't have to memorize, regardless. The bigger the cubes are, the more columns you have, but you don't have to memorize these 2 columns move these pieces. All you have to do is find a piece that's incorrect. Just any piece that's incorrect. Here's a red on the green side, so that's not where it wants to end up. And so I'm going to move, formula B is going to move a piece from the front to the top. So this is a red piece, so I want to hold with this on the face, I want to hold it so that red is on top. Okay. And then I've got 2 of them together. I can either keep them together or separate them depending on what is advantageous to solving the cube. So this one is going to land in this spot. So this spot or these 2 spots. So I can either bring the yellow down, or I can bring the white and yellow down, or I can bring the red and green, or the red and red. So let's keep these together just because we can. So I'm going to treat this piece as one piece. Okay, let's treat that as one piece. So we've got, so the first horizontal was to line that up. Then we go up, slide the top so that the piece I'm working on goes into a different layer, different column. If I go this way, it's still the same column, so that's not going to work. So it goes this way. And this is my second column. So second column up, and then reverse, first column down, and then slide second column down, set the top, and we've moved these two to that space. Okay. See what we can do for here. Here's the orange piece, find a piece on top, find a piece that's wrong, any piece that's wrong, and then we're going to move it to the top. This is going to land right here or here and here. So I can move the green, blue and orange down, I can move the green and orange down, or I can move these two greens down, or I can move the orange and yellow, orange and white. So I'm lining up so it's advantageous. I'm going to treat these two as one piece because I can. Okay, I move it up, slide to a different column, second up, reverse down, set the corners again, and well, we're doing it. Okay, here we've got a yellow piece. Hold it, it's going to go to the top. This is convenient. These two are going to bring these two down. So you go up, slide up, reverse down, set the top. Okay. Here's another one. Piece on top to go to the top. Front goes to the top. Okay. So this one or these two will bring these two, these two, these two, these two. This is the one that's most advantageous. So we're going to treat this yellow as one piece, and it's going to displace these two pieces. So we go up, slide down, and set the top. Okay. And that's it, just lather, rinse, repeat. We find a piece that's wrong on the front, aim it towards the top. Okay. This one I can bring down either the red or the yellow or the green or the white. So we're going to bring down the green. Okay. I could do the white and red, but that would bring a blue down to the green side, which I don't want. So just this corner goes up, slide to a different column, second up, reverse. Every other move is horizontal, every other horizontal is the reverse of the one before it. Okay, if you look at it with the B. Okay, so that's done. Here's an orange, and just find a piece at random. Find a piece that's wrong, throw it in the direction it wants to be, just over and over and over again. So it's a little bit boring, but instead of spending months memorizing different algorithms, these two patterns solve all of the cube. So it's easier and faster to learn. Okay, this blue wants to go there. Up, slide up, reverse down, set the top. Okay, I like to do corners first just because it follows the outside in pattern. Here's a white. Okay, it's going to have to bounce twice because white's opposite. So let's see if we can find a side that's convenient. There's not, so we're just going to place it anyway. Let's do this way. Let's take this corner and move it to the top. Okay, so we go up, down. Okay. Here's okay, so the yellow needs to move twice, the white needs to move twice. Okay, so the other whites are in place, so I'm going to have to just displace a corner and solve it later. So it's okay. You don't need to be afraid to displace something that's already placed because you know how to place it back. And now this one can move to the top. Okay. And both of these want to move because yellow is opposite white. So I'm going to treat these as one piece. So up, down, set the top. Okay. We're the same. Here's a white piece. Wants to go to the white side. I can bring down this blue, this red, this blue, or this white. So I'm going to do this one. Up, slide to a different column, second up, reverse down, and set the top. Okay, here's another piece. From the front to the top, line it up, 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 down, down. Here's another piece. Bring it to the top, up, up, down, down. There we go. And find a piece that's wrong. Throw it in its general direction. Okay. This is going to land here. I can bring down the red or the yellow. So I'll bring down the red. Reset the top. Okay. Well, here's a yellow. Let's place this one. Okay. I can bring down... Okay, this is going to land right here, so I can bring down the yellow, the red, the yellow, or the orange. Okay, so which one of them has a green? The red has a green, so I'm going to bring the red down so it's easier to move it next time. Up, up, down, down, and set. And then as promised, here's the red and the green lined up. Okay, up, slide, second up, reverse, down, set. Okay, here's the yellow on the front, wants to move to the top. If I put this one, I'll be bringing the orange down. So let's chase the orange one. No, that one's going to do the same thing. Okay, I have to deal with opposites here, but that's okay. So up, up, down. It's more convenient to not deal with opposites, but if you have an opposite, that's okay too. Okay, so this one, line it up, 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 down, down. Keep following it, up, up, down, down. So this is not a speed solve method, this is not a fewest moves method, but it is a method that will reset your cube to solved. So if you want to learn and practice your algorithms, it's better if you can do the algorithm on a solved cube. It's more easy to see exactly what that algorithm does, so you can intuit when to use it and with which order to use it, as opposed to just using algorithms. When you use algorithms, when the cube came out in the early 80s, I did not have this. I had not created this method yet. So I went to the corner store and got this book out of the corner store, memorized it, and learned which algorithms to do. But when you're going the algorithm method, you have to learn to memorize the algorithm. You have to my brain has to translate from the letters to the movements of the cube, and then so you have to memorize what algorithm does what thing, and then which order do you do each algorithm, because when I algorithm I mess up other things that you've already solved. So this one only moves 3 pieces, so you're less likely to have to display something that isn't there. So find a piece that's not correct. It's going to land here, so I can bring down another orange, a yellow, or a green. A green is more advantageous. So that's my first horizontal, is to move it up, line it up. Hello, I have a viewer. Feel free to say hi to me. I don't bite, and I love distractions because autism. So feel free to let me know who you are, and ask any questions you want to ask. So here's basically you find a piece that's wrong, throw it in the direction it wants to be. So I line it up, so that's going to be advantageous. So I would go up, slide to a different column, second up, reverse down, reverse down. If you've just found me, I don't know. My name is Sunshine, and I'm the creator of the ABCube method, so I'm the ABCube tutor. Formula A is 4 moves, Formula B is 8 moves. And with just those 2 patterns, you can solve every complexity Rubik's Cube. You don't have to worry about learning more algorithms as the cubes get larger, because they can all be solved with just Formula A and just Formula B. Here's a piece. that's not correct. I need to throw it in the direction it wants to be, but this direction is twice because it's an opposite. So let's find a yellow to come down. So I'm going to line it up. So this piece is going to land here, and this piece is going to come down, but it's not going to come down here. We always move. We're not moving 2 pieces. We're always moving 3 pieces. So line it up. That's the first horizontal. Then follow this piece. This piece goes up. Okay, rotate the top so it lands in a different column, and that becomes my next second column, up. And then reverse, down, set the top. Okay, so formula A, formula B, all you need. Here's a white. It's going to go to the top. It's going to land here. I can bring down the red, the white, the green, or the white. So I'm going to bring down the red because green and blue are opposites. So I line it up, slide up, reverse, down. Again, feel free to ask me any questions or make any comments because this is fun for me. All right, here's a white piece. Okay, line it up so it can land in a space that's advantageous. Okay, so we go up, slide to a different column, second up, reverse, down, 8 moves. Okay, that piece is correct. Find a piece that's incorrect and just throw it in the direction it wants to be. So this one will land right here. I can bring down a red or a blue. So let's bring down the blue. So go up, slide down. Okay. Find another piece. Here's a blue. Find a piece that becomes your front face, and it's going to land on the top. So you rotate the cube so that way. So this one will land right here. I can bring down either the green, or the orange, or the red. Both of them need to come down, but I'm going to do the orange first. Up, down, and set the top. And keep going. All right, here, let's bring these blues up. That'll displace this green. Well, it'll displace one of the greens. Let's trade for the red. So the blue and the red are going to, is lined up. But again, we're not moving 2 pieces, we're always moving 3 pieces. So we go up, down, and it looks like I moved 2, but 2 of them were red. So they moved around. Here's the blue. Okay, and to demonstrate, I'm going to displace this green right here. But this green is not going to come down to where this blue is because we're not switching 2 pieces, we're always switching 3. So I go up, slide to a different column, second up, reverse, down, and set the top. And so this blue went from here to here, and the green went from here to here. So the red that was there moved over here. Okay. So here's a green, face it in the green, we're going to bring down the red, up, down, and set the top. Okay, and all that's left is the blue, is this other here. We're going to bounce it twice. So up, down, set the top, and then up, down, and set the top, and then these 2. To demonstrate, just again, that this cube, if this one goes up, this one's not going to come down here. It's going to come down into a different column. So it looks like I'm moving 2, but I'm moving 3. And so you can see that it moved on here. So these were the 3 pieces that moved. And that's it. Formula A brings a piece to the top and twists corners. Formula B moves 3 pieces around, and that's all you need to solve every complexity Rubik's Cube. You don't have to worry about parities. Parities are a lie. Parities are like the cube is inherently honest, and like I said, formula A brings a piece to the top and twists corners, B moves 3 pieces around. With a parity, it looks like you have 2 pieces and only 2 pieces that need to be moved, and the rest of the cube looks correct. And so, the reason why you can get a parity on a larger cube and not on the 3x3 is just because 3x3 was the original, so anything that doesn't happen on this, we named a parity. But it can also happen on a void cube, which I created so to demonstrate. I don't know where my void cube is right now. So, what happens is that for a parity is that the center piece is a quarter turn off. Now you you can tell if the centerpiece on a 3x3 is a quarter turn off. You can see that. You can see that that happened, and so you want to set that correct before you do. But when a void cube or a 4x4 or larger, you can't see because there's no absolute absolute centerpiece except for on the middle, and so you can't tell whether this is where it wants to be or a quarter turn off where it wants to be, because you just solve the cube. However, the internal mechanism, the internal shape of the cube does matter as far as whether or not the pieces will fall into place. So if your cube is a quarter turn off and you've solved it in that area, that orientation, you will get a parity. So if you have a parity, no matter where the parity is, the slice that touches the parity, the internal slice that touches the parity, is a quarter turn off. So if you take that slice and you rotate if you look at, so you'd have, of the 4 edges that are on that slice, 2 of them look correct and 2 of them look incorrect. But if you rotate that slice 1/4 turn in either direction, then 1 will be correct and 3 will be incorrect. Okay, and with that, you know how to solve that. So you can, if you do the corners and then the edges, when you see a parity, slice it away 1 single quarter turn. You don't have to handle the parity algorithm at the end that's something like 10 seconds long. So if there's a parity, it's because the center is an odd number of turns off. Doesn't have to be. You don't have to worry about how many turns or which direction, because if you have, for example, if this is 1/4 turn off and I try to set the edges in that direction, I'll get a parity. But if it's 2/4 turns off, I won't get a parity, because that's how boxes works. So out, down, in, up. Okay, the edges are still solved when I did that, but the center is not lined up. It is 1, 2 pieces off from center. Okay, so it doesn't matter how many moves off. If it's an odd number of turns, you get a parity. If it's an even number of turns, you don't. So how to fix this is you hold it so that the top, front, and right are the colors that need to be adjusted, and the color on top is going to go to the color in front is going to go to the top. So formula A, this row, this column, move this to the space. Start by moving it away, move the space down, move the cube into the space, and the cube and the space back up again. That is formula A. And A works on the entirety of the first face, but you cannot use A on the subsequent faces because A does affect all 6 sides at the same time. So, but A is done to bring a corner to the top, the piece to the top, and to do the corners, twist the corners, and B does everything else, moving 3 pieces around. So it works on every complexity Rubik's Cube. It also works on every complexity Minx, regardless. The difference between the Minx, the cubes, and the Minxes is that for the cubes, there's no order of operations. You can do it in whatever order you want to do. But if one of the 2 columns is the center row, center column, which is needed when you're working on the star pieces, then it moves more than just the 3 pieces and the 3 pieces only. It moves ancillary pieces as well, because of the nature of the shape. So for the Minxes, if you do the star pieces first and then the non-star pieces. If you do the star pieces non-star pieces first, when you do the star pieces, you'll have to reset the non-star. So we do the star before the non-star, and that's the only difference for order of operation. Another difference is that the cube can get a parity. The Minx cannot get a parity because it cannot have any slice cannot be an odd number of turns off. Because if it's if it's an odd number this way, it's an even number this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can if you want to, you can create what looks like a parity, but you cannot have an actual parity on these cubes, on the Minxes. Works on pyramid as well. Just formula A is all you need. And so do you have, hello dear viewer, do you have any questions for me? Any questions or comments? Because that seems to be an organic pausing place. So if you have any questions for me or want me to go over any particular area of solving the cube, I'm happy to engage in dialogue. Otherwise, I will just say thank you for joining me today, and go have a wonderful rest of your day. Go drink some water and walk in the sunshine, and find something to do that helps you be happy, because happiness is where it's at. That's the purpose of life, is happiness. So, um, so go have fun, have a great day. Unless you have any questions for me, and if you otherwise, I'll be back tomorrow. Same bat time, same back station. Bye. Bye. Have a great day.